Donny Grexton.
Thank you. Well, it's wonderful to be back. I haven't been back to Toronto in 7 years. I live in a very small community in northern Ontario that has less population than what's here right now. I've lived in the GTA previously for about 20 years, so I have a very good understanding of the lives that you all are living on a daily basis. Now, one of the things with Canadian Loyalists is we're working on creating a membership, in a sense, of fellow Canadians to work towards a better version of Canada that we will all equally, as equal Canadians, form together under the truest form of democracy that Canada has ever known and most likely ever will. Now, to give you a tidbit on what I'm talking about, when we have politicians that are running in elections, we do our due diligence, we do the best to do our research on their political platforms, and then whichever party aligns more with our values, we cast our votes for those candidates. Now what happens many of the times is we elect the candidates to represent us in government. Now, many of the times what happens is we elect them on the promises in their platforms, and then they simply go on their own way to implementing things that we did not vote for. So for example, if we elected a politician or political party, and they tried to implement any new regulation, any new laws onto the backs of Canadians, like a new form of taxation that wasn't part of their political platforms, it would go to a national, a provincial/territorial, and even municipal referendums where the power would go directly to every single one of us. So I'll use as another example, of course, the vast majority of all of us are aware of the situation that's been going on over in Ukraine with Russia. And there's already been whispers from Trudeau and his government of the possibility of sending our men and women into a military war zone. Now, because that was not part of a political platform for which we voted and elected an official, which was Justin Trudeau, under the new system, it would go to a national referendum and Canadians would make the choice of whether or not our men and women go into a war zone. The government might say, the majority of us say yes, they're going in. 95% of Canadians, I'm assuming, would say absolutely not. Again, the power goes to the people and their power is supreme over any court and any government in this country. Our voices will be heard and they will make the decisions in the future for a better version of Canada for all of us, our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to come. So this is something that I've been personally working on for now over 7.5 years. This is most likely the first time that you folks have heard of the Canadian Loyalists. I'm not going anywhere. I've dedicated over 10,000 hours of my personal time, and I've never been benefited financially, not 1 cent. So if another question comes to you, we always hear most politicians can be bought. Try and buy me. You will not buy this individual, and I hope to gather as many Canadians as possible that feel the same way. You cannot buy us. You cannot buy our loyalty to our fellow Canadians or to this country. Our values is what we need to stand by 100% from A to Z right through the whole entire process. Absolute sovereignty. Truest form of democracy for which we have never seen in this country. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is something that's been set up. Oh, there we go. This is something that's in the process of being set up, where even the start, eventually, of a new political party, which would be the Canadian Loyalists, I could have started this party already. I refuse to. I could have started the new political party 7.5 years ago. I refuse to. Why is that? Because I'm interested in getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Canadians together to form the new party together So the party itself will be actually formed under a true form of democracy. So even though I've spent 7.5, let's say 8.5 years, the party gets launched, and if you, the people, decide someone besides myself, absolutely any of yous, want to step up to the plate, I will gladly step away from it because the power of the people have spoken. A true form of democracy, from the creation of the party to saving this country and all of our values, which created everything that we know today. So, for any of you that haven't got a card, there's a lot of things that are still in the launch phase. I'm on different apps like, of course, the Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and I do live events sometimes on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. There's many different programs that once we get the truest form of democracy implemented, we can implement other programs like the National Profit Sharing Program, which is also based off of something that Canadians don't know about, because we've never really had one, and that is a massive surplus that we are more than capable of creating in this country based off of our resources. Canada is not just a superpower of natural resources, we are the superpower of the world of natural resources, and we need to start acting like it. So just to close with the National Profit Sharing Program that I would love to see implemented for Canadians is, let's say, for example, we were able to create a $50 billion surplus. Absolutely 100% achievable. We have approximately 31 million Canadians in Canada that are above the age of 18 that can vote. If you're working full or part-time, you automatically qualify. If you're unable to work, you're on disability, you're retired, you can still volunteer to qualify. 10 hours a week, let's say. So what we're going to do with that $50 billion is we're actually going to cut every single Canadian a tax-free bonus. If we create a $500 billion surplus, the 31 million Canadians, that would work out to $16,655 to each and every one of you as a tax-free bonus. You got a family of, say, a mother and father, times that by 2. You've now just paid your kids' college education, bought that second vehicle, put the down payment on your house in 1 year, not 10 or 20. And you all contributed to the GDP, to the economy of Canada, and to the volunteer program services. We're going to clean up this country. We're going to volunteer to many of the volunteer programs, which will qualify you for that system. Again, please follow me on social media. There's going to be about another 80 different programs that are going to blow you away, that we're going to work together, equally together, to implement a better Canada for which no Canadian has ever seen. Again, my name is Donny Grexton from Canadian Loyalist. I thank you all so much for being here. This is where it starts. Thank you.